Looking at this was just amazing. This was just an amazing project. Like, I could not believe what we ended up with here. Just looking at the history of the Pickett as a whole, I'm proud to have been and to be a part of it. We have Prohibition, World War One, World War Two. There's just so much here, and seeing the names that you usually associate with just buildings and knowing they were people is epic. It's amazing. The whole experience is just kind of surreal to know it goes back that far.
The Pickett really does represent a very important part, not only of Shepherd, but of student journalism, history of student journalism. And you know, of course, that the Pickett represents the guardian of the community. The Pickett stands out. It goes back to the Civil War, actually to the Revolutionary War days. The Pickett stands outside the town and guards the citizens of the town. And that's what the Pickett always has tried to be since 1896, protecting student rights. But for me, it's been really, a great challenge and a great honor to be part of the Pickett. And when I got here, the Pickett was in very weak condition. It was coming out like about once a semester. They used to put it in the corner of Canuti Hall so nobody would see it too much. And then it started coming out every 3 weeks. And then when I became when I became a faculty advisor, I went to the workshops at the college media advisors, and I really learned the basics of being a college media advisor, namely that you've really got to protect the students' First Amendment rights. You've really got to allow the students to do their own thing, to make their own mistakes, to learn from those mistakes. And as an advisor, you have to protect them, to back them up, and also to just give them that freedom of speech, which is so precious. And that's difficult because it's not like herding cats. It's like getting cats to walk in formation, because students all have their own ideas and go in their own directions. So if I would sum it up very briefly, I would say the Pickett continually reinvents itself. And every issue is a new kind of Pickett, and every semester the Pickett becomes a different publication, a different organization. And the Pickett has gone through these transformations continuously since I've been here. And that's about probably one of the more exciting parts of it, is to see how it continually reimagines its own identity and the role it plays.
it's interesting to look back from articles from the 50s and see enrollment growing. Just since I've been with the Pickett in the last 2 years, we've done 4 or 5 stories on how enrollment is decreasing. So it's been really interesting to just go through these archives and see how things have changed over time. Beside Potomac waters of historic fame stands our noble alma mater, glorious her name. Lift the chorus, speed it onward, loud her praises ring. Hail to thee, beloved shepherd, hail, oh hail we sing. One of the most rewarding things about doing this project was to see the archives of, student media expanding and where they started from, and to see where they are now. And since I've been at Shepherd, I've been able to be a part of these different organizations and see how they've grown from where they started. And that has been so rewarding. It's just really amazing that we even have these archives to look back on. And that's been one of the most important things for me during this project.
I started working for the Pickett in 2014 as a staff writer. I was then quickly promoted to Arts and Styles editor in 2015, and then further promoted to editor-in-chief in spring 2016, where I remained until I graduated in May 2017. When I first started out with the Pickett, there were about 10 of us working diligently to produce a print newspaper bi-weekly, which was an extremely tedious process. We were paying our staff to spend hours working on print outlines and putting it together, which was sometimes an all-night process. When breaking news stories arose, it oftentimes wouldn't make print, and it would be too late and irrelevant by the next edition. There was just so much that we were doing with such little to show for it. When I became the editor, I wanted to find a way to be able to cover breaking news as it was happening without ever missing a beat. And I found that by scrapping the print news and converting to a completely digital news source. As a student-run publication, it was important for us to be able to reach our peers without making them look for us. With our digital platform, we were able to incorporate in mobile apps so students didn't have to go to one of our newspaper stands. They could just look at their phone. With the capabilities of a digital platform, we were able to transform a multimedia savvy pub where students could go to watch our video series like Digging Deep with Diggs, to learn about how nationwide issues were affecting students on their own campus and how people were reacting to them. With our multimedia capabilities, reporters were able to spend more time focusing on issues and getting the news to you in a timely process instead of focusing on the less important things like outlines and print. During my time as editor,